Hello everyone, welcome to History class. Today we are going to continue lesson 7 of History, British policies and their impact. Earlier we had discussed about history and its sources, Renaissance and Reformation, voyages and discoveries, and the Industrial Revolution. And today topic of the day is Britain, the birthplace of Industrial Revolution and emergence of imperialism. The main objectives of today's topic are you will come to know about the birthplace of Industrial Revolution, major inventions, impacts of Industrial Revolution, decline of feudalism and rise of capitalism, imperialism and its impacts. But before starting today's topic, let us recall definitions and cross questions related to the previous topic. Definitions: history, historians, Renaissance, Reformation, source, and voyage. Now answer these cross questions. Which sources tell us about the modern period? Tell in brief about Renaissance. Who led the Reformation movement? Name any three key figures of the English Renaissance. Who promoted a new view of astrology and mathematics? Name an Italian explorer who reached around America in 1492 CE. And what was the domestic system of production? New words related to today's topic are colonies, the country or area under economic and political control of another more powerful country. Serfdom, a condition in which a person, that is, serf or slave, is required to render services to a lord. Boom towns, the towns that have become rich and successful because of developed industry and trade. Industrial Revolution, transition or change to new manufacturing processes from about 1760 to about 1820 and 1840. Industrialization, setting up industries on a large scale. Capitalism, an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit. Imperialism, a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization, use of military force or other means. Mother country, the country that exercises or exercised economic and political control over other regions or colonies. Feudalism, a system of granting land by a lord to vassal for protection and loyalty. Now let us read and discuss about Britain, the birthplace of Industrial Revolution. Great Britain became a powerful empire because it was the birthplace and leading force in the Industrial Revolution, which was a cultural and economic shift from home-based production, traditional agriculture, and manual labor to a system of factory-based manufacturing that included complex machinery, continual technological growth, new energy sources, and developments in transportation. As the Industrial Revolution took hold, Great Britain turned its attention from the rural home to the urban factory and from human power to mechanical power, and it grew so wealthy that it was able to expand and extend its influences across seas and continents. Now the question arises, why Great Britain? What was so special about Great Britain that the Industrial Revolution started there? Historians identified several factors that converged in Britain in the mid of 18th century and created just the right environment for the rise of industrialization. The Industrial Revolution began in England for a variety of reasons, and some of the main reasons were England had large deposits of natural resources, especially iron and coal. The other important reason was England had banks, a government that encouraged trade and inventions, and money to invest in industry. And the other important reason was England's colonies provided cheap raw materials and markets to sell. Now let us read from the book. A number of factors contributed to Britain being the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. England had large deposits of iron ore and coal that were essential for Industrial Revolution. Means Britain's large deposits of coal and iron provided power for new factories. Britain had politically stable society with a politically stable government that encouraged trade and commerce. Means Britain had both the supportive government as well as supportive society that encouraged trade, commerce, and inventions, and even the Britain government provided money to invest in industries. Britain had a very strong navy that was used to acquire colonies. Soon it became the strongest imperial power in the world. This meant that its colonies could serve as suppliers of raw materials and a market for its finished goods. Means Britain had strong armed services which conducted military operations at sea to occupy colonies. And even it had a trade network with numerous colonies, and those colonies provided raw materials and markets for the finished goods. Serfdom is a condition in which a person or a serf is required to render services to a lord. Mostly he was attached to the lord's land and was transferred with it from one owner to another. This had been abolished in England. All the serfs were free to offer their services to the factory owners. Hence, labor was available in plenty. Means serfs or bond servants were free to offer their services to the owners of the factory as serfdom was removed from England. So, plenty of labor was available to work in the factories. There were new ideas brewing in England that aided the development of the Industrial Revolution. One of these was the increasing interest in a scientific approach and investigation. Means in England, new ideas and scientific viewpoint was adopted. The British were explorers who believed in human progress and scientific advancement. They constantly made new discoveries about how the world worked. The other important factor was England saw improved and advanced systems of communication, transportation, and banking that helped usher the Industrial Revolution in Britain. Means Britain had advanced banking and communication systems and had plenty of navigable rivers, decent roads, and canals that could transport raw materials to factories and products to consumers. So, all these factors helped a lot to start the Industrial Revolution in Britain. Now, let us read and discuss about major inventions. The textile industry was the first to be affected by the Industrial Revolution. As the flying shuttle invented by John Kay sped up weaving, the demand for cotton yarn increased. Means the Industrial Revolution brought about more significant changes in the textile industry. The weaving of cotton was a household affair and it was done by people working alone or with members. However, by the end of 18th century, in response to the growing internal as well as overseas market, the English entrepreneur revolutionized the production of cotton textile goods. They were greatly helped by a series of extraordinary innovations. The invention of the flying shuttle by John Kay in 1733 was one of the earliest inventions associated with the textile industry. It greatly increased the speed of weaving. By using the flying shuttle, a single weaver could produce a white piece of cloth, whereas earlier two or more weavers were needed to make the same piece. Many inventors began to work on improving the spinning wheel, such as James Hargreaves invented the spinning jenny. Spinning jenny was a compound spinning wheel capable of producing 16 threads at once. And the invention of the water frame by Richard Arkwright in 1771 led to the production of stronger threads for yarns. Moreover, the water frame was the first powered automatic and continuous textile machine which could not be installed at home. And as a result, it necessitated the movement of textile manufacturing from home to factories. The other major invention was of power loom. The power loom was invented by Edmund Cartwright in 1784. The power loom allowed weaving and spinning of cloth to be done at a much faster rate. It allowed a spinner to operate more than 100 spindles at one time. The other major invention was the cotton gin. The cotton gin was invented by the American Eli Whitney in 1793, and Eli Whitney's cotton gin separated the seeds from fiber 300 times faster. So, all these inventions revolutionized the textile industry in England, and Lancashire and Yorkshire of England became two important centers of the textile. While the textile industries were developing, progress was also being made in other fields. James Watt and George Stephenson developed steam engines that helped in transportation of raw materials from one place to another. The steam engine was perhaps the most important machine technology invented during the Industrial Revolution. However, the invention of steam engines meant that a factory could be located anywhere, not just close to water. But initially, these engines were used to pump water from the mines, but later on, they became the driving force behind the Industrial Revolution. So, after Britain, the Industrial Revolution spread to France, Germany, Russia, and other parts of the Europe. Later on, it spread to the United States, Japan, and other countries of the world. Now let us read and discuss about impacts of Industrial Revolution. Impacts means influences. The Industrial Revolution brought about many changes in Europe and other parts of the world. Growth of towns and cities. Manufacturing was no longer based in the home and family, but in the factory as the new machines were too big to fit into people's homes. As before the Industrial Revolution, the work was done at homes by using hands and simple machines. But after the Industrial Revolution, it was replaced from small shops and homes to large factories. The domestic system of production could not compete with the factory system, and hence those involved in the domestic system had to go and work in the factories. Means the domestic system of production could not compete with the factory system, and the persons who were involved in the domestic system of production, they too had to go to the factories for work. Factories sprang up across the country, and new cities sprang up around the factories as the workers had to live somewhere. Earlier, the center of economic life was village, but as the industries grew, this center shifted to the cities. People from villages migrated to cities where factories offered employment. Means during the Industrial Revolution, many factories emerged across the country, and many new cities also emerged around those factories as the workers needed place to live. But before that, during the domestic system of production, the people used to do work in their homes, so the center of economic life was villages. But after the Industrial Revolution, they started shifting from rural areas to urban areas. Many towns, often called industrial towns like Liverpool, Leeds, and Manchester, developed. These towns were known as boom towns. Boom towns are the towns in which there is rapid population and economic growth. Boom towns are usually mining towns where the important mineral resources such as gold, silver, or petroleum have been found. And these towns are near to the major cities where there is a nice climate or near a popular attraction. Liverpool, Leeds, and Manchester are often called the industrial towns or the boom towns because there was rapid change in population and economic activities in these towns during the Industrial Revolution. Now, the next topic is decline of feudalism and rise of capitalism. The advent of Industrial Revolution led to the decline of feudalism. With the growth of industrialization, a new system rose in place of feudalism. This was known as capitalism. In this system, the means of production were privately owned and used for profit. So, the feudalism, which was a social system that existed in Europe during the Middle Ages, in which the people worked and fought for nobles who gave them protection and the use of land in return, came to an end with the growth of industrialization in Europe. So, in place of feudalism, a new system rose that was capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system in which trade, industry, and the means of production are controlled by private owners with the goal of making profits in a market company. Birth of two new social classes. Two new classes arose due to capitalism. First was factory owners. They owned factories and hired workers who were paid wages. Their main focus was on profit making. Means the first social class which emerged due to capitalism was factory owners. They owned their own factories and employed the workers and gave them salaries. And the main aim of factory owners was to earn profit by trade. The other social class that emerged due to capitalism was of workers. They received wages for their labor in factories. Their life was full of hardships as they were exploited by factory owners. Means the factory owners treated the workers unfairly in order to get benefit from them. And the workers had to face many difficulties. They had to work from day to night, but in return, they received less salaries. Now, the next topic is emergence of imperialism. Imperialism was a policy in which a strong nation seeks to dominate other countries politically, socially, or economically. The Industrial Revolution increased the productivity in industrialized areas, leading to a demand for more raw material to keep up with the technological capacity. As a result, countries like Great Britain needed raw materials to keep their factories running and markets for the goods their factories produced. Means the most important force behind imperialism was the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution changed Europe from a consumer of manufactured goods to a producer. So the factories in the Great Britain needed raw materials and markets. Imperialism. When a nation dominates or controls another land politically and economically, especially by acquiring colonies, it is called imperialism. The nation that dominates is the mother country and the dominated are the colonies. So, the country that exercises or exercised economic and political control over other regions or colonies is termed as mother country. And on the other hand, the countries or areas under the economic and political control of another more powerful country are known as colonies. And the policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization, use of military force, or other means is termed as imperialism. And this policy gained strength and importance in the 19th century mainly due to the Industrial Revolution. So, through the policy of imperialism, the European countries were allowed to attain colonies that provided them with raw materials for their factories and a market for their manufactured goods. This led them to acquire colonies in Asia and Africa. These continents did not have strong military, but they were very rich in natural resources. So, the beginning of the 20th century saw the rise of four main imperial powers that were Britain, France, Holland, and the USA. These four industrial powers brought the whole of the non industrialized world under their control. Impacts of imperialism. The mother country exploited the colonies. The colonies were treated as suppliers of raw materials and markets for their finished products. Means a country that was economically and politically strong started exploiting and dominating the other colonies. And the colonies were looked upon as the distributors of the raw materials. The indigenous industries of colonies were completely destroyed. For example, the local textile industries of India were replaced with the machine-made cheap textiles that flooded the markets. Means imperialism adversely affected the colonies. Under the foreign rule, native culture and industries were destroyed. Even the local textile industries of India were replaced with the machine-made cheap textiles. Moreover, the imported goods wiped out the local craft industries, and by using colonies as sources of raw materials and markets for manufactured goods, the colonial powers held back the colonies from developing industries. Agriculture was also hit. Colonies were instructed to grow cash crops instead of food crops. The crops which are grown by farmers to sell in the market in order to earn profit are called the cash crops, and the crops which are grown by farmers for their own use and consumption are called the food crops. And the colonies were strictly instructed to grow cash crops in place of food crops. In certain colonies, farmers were forced to grow only those crops specified by the mother country. Cuba became a sugar producing country, and the Indian farmers had no choice but to grow those crops that fetched a high price in the market. This led to the impoverishment of the colonized countries. Means under the policy of imperialism, Cuba became one of the major sugar producing colonies in the world. Slaves were imported to work in the sugarcane fields. Cuba was changed from a sleepy little colony to an incredibly prosperous and important one to Spain. And even the Indian farmers were not allowed to grow the food crops. They were forced to grow cash crops or the commercial crops. They had to grow those crops that earned a high price in the market, and finally, this led to the poverty of the colonized countries. So, we can conclude that the need for the raw materials and markets led to the growth of imperialism. Many countries in Asia and Africa became colonies of the European powers, and the beginning of 20th century saw the rise of the four main imperial powers that were Britain, France, Holland, and USA. Imperialism had widespread effects, and those effects were the mother country exploited the colonies, the indigenous industries of colonies were completely destroyed, and the colonies were instructed to grow cash crops instead of food crops. Now I hope lesson is clear to you. Your today's homework is to learn the lesson and solve the back exercises.